There was one thing in your book when you were talking about fighting crime and taking over territory.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me again about when you noticed. I think it was the guy at the store standing at the corner store, and there were people standing around at the corner store. I think one of them ended up actually being someone that they found out that murdered.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I had a break in between terms, and I stopped at the Quick Trip on Riverdale to get some gas, and there was just like maybe 15 guys on the side of the store just hanging out, playing music, you know. And that was something that wouldn't have happened when I was in office because I always kept the front of the stores clear. It's just dangerous. It's not, all the stuff about, well, they don't have nothing to do. That ain't true. We got like 6 community centers in there. It's something to do, but not stand in front of a business. And we saw in an adjacent county where a woman went to a store and some guys hanging in front of the store and they ended up robbing her and killing her. So, but anyway, when that happened, I remember talking to a friend of mine that was still on the force, and I was saying, "That's a lot of guys standing in front of the store." I said, y'all need to start sweeping that again." And they were saying, "Well, the people in charge don't really let us do that anymore, or whatever. I guess trying to be nice or whatever like that." Well, 2 weeks later, one of the guys that stood out to me, a deputy gets killed, and it turns out it was one of the guys that I saw when they showed us picture. So there was already a warrant out for him. So if my street sweepers had still been on the street and they rolled up there and ran everybody's name and told everyone to leave, they would have got him there. And maybe that officer would still be alive today. So a lot of that stuff, littering, loud music, it's not so much that you're trying to deal with when you crack on stuff like that. What you're trying to do is crack down on the stuff that comes out of it. If you don't have a bunch of guys hanging out, then there's no one to shoot on a drive-by shooting. There's no one to harass because they're not there. So what you're doing is you're cracking down on the gang-like behavior, and that's how you root some of the stuff out. We've actually stopped people just for loud music, and the car was stolen. As hard as to believe. So we end up getting a stolen car off the street, or sometimes we stop a car for loud music and they're wanted for a robbery or whatever like that. So it's not being overly hard. It's just keeping order, keeping things where people can live. We all love music, but it needs to be a certain level. We got to be respectful of older people in the neighborhood and stuff like that. And usually the people that are involved in that type of behavior usually got something else going on. And when we cracked down on things like that, it was able to bring the whole crime rate down.